Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia. If you're new here, today I'm going to be filming my February wrap up. I'm going to be looking at my Goodreads a lot because why can I not remember a single book I read this month except the Chestnut Spring last month in February, except the Chestnut Spring series. Don't ask me, but anyways, let's just get into it because I don't have anything else to say. So the first book that I read this month was You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. So this was kind of a disappointment because I really love Geneva Rose. I've read The Perfect Marriage and One of Us is Dead, and those are like 5-star thrillers to me. I love both of those books, but this one was kind of just blah. I ended up only rating it 2 stars, which is really harsh for me because I'm not like a big hard rater or anything. But anyways, this book is about I can't even remember their names. Also, if you hear any screaming in the background, my family's outside playing while I film. But anyways, I can't even remember their names. I know the the MC, his name, well, he's not really a main character because we don't get his point of view, but one of the guys in this book, his name is Calvin, and he basically owns this Airbnb like in the middle of nowhere, and she kind of like throws a dart at a board and decides where she's gonna stay, and she ended up coming to his Airbnb to stay, and they like kind of have this like relationship, this like infatuation, I would say. They both think that the other is like really attractive, and so they kind of start flirting and stuff like that. But then weird things start happening and she gets kind of freaked out about it. So she's like, this is a weird town. Like, this is weird. And Calvin is like really like, he's like, she's gonna stay. She's gonna stay here forever. Nothing's gonna send her back to the city if I have anything to do with it. I like her too much to let her go. And it's just all so obvious. Like, obviously he's the bad guy. Obviously he's not gonna let her go. So, and none of that is spoilers because he says all of it in the book, like the whole time. And I just found it very predictable. And the ending was like, okay, like, yeah, that's a little crazy, but it was just like a very predictable thriller to me. And I don't know. I don't know. 2 stars for me. Okay, the next book was actually a library copy that I had to return. So this is Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. This was 5 stars for me. I found this book to be so good. It was everything I love in a thriller. First of all, it was like this friend group who is kind of like, you can't trust any of them. And especially like one of the girls who is like the one that brought all of the friends together. She's very sketchy, and there's lots of sketchy characters in this book. So basically they are at like a college, and one of the FMCs, she's like, my best friend died and my best friend would want me to like branch out in college and do different things and like go to parties and just be like this college girl. And so she meets this girl named Lucy who she's like the party girl, like she's the cool girl at the college, and she asked would you like to move in with me and my friends, and she says yes. And when she moves in with Lucy and Lucy's friends, weird things start happening, crazy things start happening, and then someone from her hometown who was actually dating her best friend when she died moves into the fraternity next door. So just like crazy things happen. You'll have to read it if you want to like find out, because honestly, I don't remember exactly everybody's name, so I'm having like a hard time like placing it. All I remember is like it was pretty crazy and the plot twist is like insane. And it gave it 5 stars. All you have to do is shock me just a little bit and I'm probably gonna give you 5 stars. It was a really fun thriller to read. So anyways, moving on, the next book I read was Flawless in the Chestnut Spring series. So I read this whole series this month, and this series is so good. Why did I wait so long to read this stupid series? Like, it was amazing. So follows Summer and Rhett, and Rhett is a famous bull rider, and Summer is the daughter of Rhett's like manager, and Rhett is kind of like a bad boy and they want to clean up his image. So Summer's dad is like, you have to basically babysit Rhett, and Rhett is not happy about it. So it's like an enemies kind of thing to begin with. And this is just so good. It was so fun. Elsie Silver can just do no wrong. Like, she makes all of her books so fun but heartfelt at the same time. And then it's got that like small town cowboy country type feel to it, and I just love that in a book. And all of these characters feel like you're friends with them and like you know them, and I just find so much comfort in this book and I love it. And I believe I rated it 5 stars. Let me double check. Oh, I rated it 4 stars. I did rate it 4 stars because I will tell you why in a minute. But yeah, 4 stars is really good for me. I would even give it a 4.75, you know. Next was Heartless, which was my second favorite in the whole entire series. So this follows Willa and Cade, and Cade is Rhett's brother from the first book, and Willa is Summer's best friend. Now, I gave this book 5 stars because I loved Cade and Willa. Cade and Willa were like they were so cool to me. I don't know why. I just felt like Willa was like that cool best friend that like is so funny and will do anything for you, but she'll make you laugh, and like she's caring and she's super loyal, and I loved that about Willa. She's also a redhead, so I just like felt this like weird connection with her even though she's not a real person. And then I really love Cade because he's like that grumpy kind of guy until he meets the right person, then he's like a teddy bear, and I just love that trope. That trope does it for me every single time. So basically Willa goes to be a nanny for Cade because he has a little boy with his like ex-girlfriend who kind of like up and left them. And so Willa is like a nanny for the summer, and at first he does not want Willa to be the nanny. He's like so grumpy. He's like but then Willa like just like eases into his heart, and just like I love her so much. Honestly, Willa made this book for me. I give it a 5 stars, and I would say it's my second favorite in the whole series, and I will tell you my first favorite, but yeah, that was my second. And then the next one was Powerless, which I actually I like skimmed the very ending of this book. I just didn't connect with it. I'll be very honest with you. I really love Elsie Silver's writing. I think she's amazing at writing characters, but I did not feel it with these two. So this book follows Jasper, which is like a family friend, and then Salome, which is also a family friend. So I guess because they weren't mentioned enough in the other books, I don't know what it was that just threw me off with this book. But Jasper is a hockey player and Salome is a ballerina, and I just didn't connect with them. There was a part where Salome is running away from her wedding, and she kind of is like a runaway bride, so she doesn't have any of her belongings with her. So Jasper takes her to Walmart, and she's like, my dad would be so proud of me shopping amongst the common folks, as he would say, or something like that. And I just thought that was so weird, and like just I didn't connect with it. If you guys can like understand what I'm saying, I just felt like there was no, I don't know, people love this book. I looked on Goodreads, and like everybody I follow on Goodreads is like, I love this book, 5 stars, but I just did not connect with it. I just found like I didn't like Jasper, and then it was like super predictable at the same time. I don't know, I'm probably not explaining it well, just know I didn't like it, okay? The next one was Reckless, and this one was my favorite book out of the whole series. So this one follows Theo, which is Rhett's best friend. He's also a bull rider, and Winter, which is Summer's sister. So Winter is like, they call her like the ice queen because she's kind of just like mean and nobody really likes her. But I just connected with Winter, I think, so much because first of all, she ends up being a single mom in this book. Like there's like a miscommunication between her and Theo, and she ends up being like a single mom for a very long time. And the way she connected with her daughter just like resonated so hard with me. Everything she was saying, she was like, I do it for my daughter, and I was just like, yes, go girl, go. But then when Theo came back in their life, I just melted. He was the best dad ever. He was the best boyfriend, best dad. Like this book is like a blueprint for what a dad and a husband or boyfriend should be. This book is a blueprint for everything. Like the spicy scenes were so good to me, like the best in all of the books. There was not one thing I could tell you that I disliked about this book. Like, I loved Winter's, like, redemption arc. Like, she she's like hard on the outside but soft on the inside, and I love that. And Theo like brings that out in her, but he also puts up with her like attitude, and like he's just so understanding of her, and I just melted. I melted with this book. So this one was like a 6-star read for me, and I loved it so much. I could go on about that, but I have to move on. The last one in the series is Hopeless, and I liked this one a lot. I would say it's like my 3rd favorite in the series. This one follows Bo and Bailey, I believe, and she's the local bartender, and Bo is one of the Eaton brothers, and he was in the military, and he recently got out of the military, so he's dealing with a lot of like trauma from something that happened to him while he was in the military. He's dealing with a lot of trauma, and so he goes to their local bar and kind of like drinks every night, and he ends up really taking like a liking to Bailey, even though she's like younger, and he like is super protective over her, which I love that when they're like protective over the girl. And I just love their relationship. I loved Bailey and I loved Bo. There was like an awkward scene in here for me, which I don't want to get into, like a spicy scene, I guess you could say. I found it very like kind of cringe, but besides that, this book was really good, and I love Bo's redemption as well. So yeah, that was the whole oh god, not me dropping it. Ooh. That was the whole Chestnut Spring series that I read. I had such a fun time, and if you're looking for a small town romance to get into, I cannot recommend this one enough. Even though I didn't like Powerless, it could be your thing, and I will never like yuck somebody's yum. So I know a lot of people do like it. So anyways, moving on to the 7-Year Slip. The 7-Year Slip. I finally picked this up. I'm not gonna lie, I have a headphone in, by the way. I was listening to an audiobook, but anyway, I am not going to lie, the first like 100 pages of this was hard to get into. I didn't get it. I was reading it, I was like, why? But the more I went, I kind of just pushed through it, because this is everybody's favorite book, right? So I pushed through it, and I ended up really, really loving it. So this book is following Clementine, I believe her name is. And what is his name? I actually can't remember. His name. Anyways, this is following Clementine and the male MC, and basically she has an apartment that her aunt gave her when she passed away that kind of like goes back 7 years in time, but you never really know when it'll go back 7 years in time. And one day she's in the apartment and she meets the MC, and they basically like fall in love, and like every time she sees him there, you know, they like have a conversation, and it makes them fall in love. And then they meet in the present day as well, and it's so cute. I can't like explain it, honestly. It's a little confusing, but it's so cute. Also, something that I really loved about this book is it's like got like food related themes in it, and the way that the MC spoke about food like made me fall in love. Also, the writing is just so good. Like, it's amazing. And I just really liked their love, if that makes sense. Like, I fell in love with their relationship, and I just thought it was the sweetest book ever. And yeah, it was super cute. I loved it at all. Anyways, 5 stars, moving on. The next one I read was If He Had Been With Me. My best friend Lakin has been telling me to read this book. She's like, it is so good. I cried. But honestly, I was like, it's supposedly like YA, and I was like, I don't know about that. But I did pick it up on audiobook, and I started it, and oh my god, 5 stars. So this book, honestly, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Not because I don't want to, but because first of all, our female main character throughout like middle school and high school, I think, and her next door neighbor Phineas, and how they like were best friends growing up, but they grew apart. She met somebody else, he met somebody else, and how they like finally get together. But the twist at the end, I couldn't believe it. I was cooking dinner when it came about, and I was like, oh, and I immediately started crying, because it was actually shocking to me. Autumn, that's her name. But basically, like, he's a popular guy, she's kind of like the weirdo girl. The one thing that drives me nuts is because she was like not popular anymore, she kept being like, I'm different, our friend group is different, and we're just the weirdos. And I kind of like cringed a lot, and she like wore tiaras to make herself different, and I just thought it was very weird. But the connection between these two was just like undeniable to me, and like it was so good. I'm telling you guys, I know I'm not doing like the most amazing job at explaining it, but I swear to you, this book, if this does not make you cry, do you have a heart? Do you have a heart at all? Because this book was heartbreaking, but also beautiful at the same time. And I really liked the writing as well. I thought the writing was amazing. It just connected with me. I don't know. Okay, the next one was a library book that I returned. It was The Shadows Between Us. I believe I gave this 4 stars because I really, really liked it. This was following our female main character, which I can't think of her name right now. I read so many books, you guys, so please don't like be upset that I can't think of their names. But anyways, it's following our female main character and the Shadow King. So basically, she wants to get the Shadow King's attention because she wants to marry him, and kind of like she plots to like take over his kingdom so like she can become queen, right? And so she gets his attention, marries him, and well, they're like fake marrying each other because he doesn't really want to be married, but he's like, they're gonna take things away from me if I don't get married. I'm probably not explaining this well, but anyway, she's like, okay, I'll fake marry you, but she really is trying to get close to him so that she can like possibly take over his kingdom. But anyways, there's plot twists, and there's people in this book and in his life that are not trustworthy, but he thinks that they're trustworthy, and you'll find out at the end like who is not there